back to the Molson Valleyfield Regatta. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Russell Haworth, and it is GP final time. Let's meet some of the challengers to Robert THEORET, like Maurice PLOUFFE in the Intrepide 2. He will give THEORET a run for his money, as will Jean THEORET in the Miss DANASH 2. Perhaps a bit of a family rivalry going there between Jean and Robert. And there is the THUNDERCRAFT 2, driven by Pierre Lavigne. We got a chance earlier this week to talk to Pierre about what makes his boat so unique.
The concept is being used in the unlimited hydroplanes right now. It's theoretically, it's supposed to be safer. What we're using is an F-16 canopy right off the fighter plane. It's 3/4 inch thick Lexan. Should withstand impact up to 200 miles an hour. So that's put together on a very strong case that surrounds the driver. And you've got an air supply system in there in case there is an accident. You can breathe off diving tanks until they come in and rescue you. The steering is removable, you're strapped in, and if there is an accident and you're upside down, there's a trap door on the bottom that can be opened either by the driver or by the rescue team coming to get you, and they just pull you out from there. Yeah, we're using very large wing area spoilers at the back on the concept that we're using a little bit more strut weight, which is where the propeller sits on the back of the boat, to increase acceleration, because the concept behind these boats is that they fly above water. It's like when you're driving your car and you put your hand out the window at 70 miles an hour. If you lift your hand up a bit, it'll get to a point where it'll blow itself over. But as you're lifting it, it decreases the friction as your hand stays there by itself. So we're trying to get the boats to fly as high as we can without going over. So you need the weight at the back of the boat to create good acceleration to get the weight off the sponsons when you're coming out of the corner. But when you reach top speed, if there's too much weight back there, you're over. So the rear wing will kick up the back end when you get to enough speed to use it.
And there's another look at the rear wing in that Pierre Lavigne piloted boat, but the fan favorite, the 1988 GP Valleyfield. So there is the man to watch, Robert THEORET, and what's going on? He stopped dead in the water in the warm-up laps.
Well, Robert, something has happened, and if Robert's standing up, it's because it's serious, that's for sure.
Unbelievable.
Imagine what's going through his mind right now. The local boy, you know, the crowd yelling for Robert. They see Robert there dead in the water.
It's got to be devastating. I mean, he sets a Canadian record, and he's coming out, as you mentioned, in front of the hometown crowd, and there he is, standing on the boat, when I'm sure he'd love to be sitting in the cockpit, getting ready for the start.
That's it. You work a year for the Valleyfield Regatta, being a hometown boy, and that happens to you.
So it is all over for Robert THEORET in the final of the Valleyfield Regatta GP class, and what a heartbreaker. Here are the rest of the drivers, 30 seconds until the cannon to start this race. THEORET on the sidelines, and I think, my friend, that opens the door wide.
Yes, it's anybody's race right now. The guy that's going to get the good start, the good position, and we see the Orange Crush inside there, and there's another boat inside of him.
And in the middle of your screen is Pierre Lavigne in the THUNDERCRAFT, and coming up, here we go, the start of the final race. And underway we go.
That was awfully close with the Miss DANASH.
And that is the Miss DANASH taking the early lead. And we saw one of the qualifiers, and Jimmy King bumping somebody, and we got problems there. But Miss DANASH continues to lead, but Jimmy King rocking and socking around, and here he comes in the Orange Crush. He is on the move and having trouble staying in the water.
That boat was one of the top running boats the last couple of years. There was no doubt about how Jimmy could run that boat.
Here he goes around the... Oh! He buried that one.
Yes, he did.
And the boat's still running, and I don't see him.
He's still in the boat. The driver's still in the boat.
Still looking for him. I don't know. Oh, there he is in the boat. I thought maybe he'd been flipped out. But you can see that boat is in rough shape, and we've got a black flag to stop the race. They're going to have to restart this. So a rough ride for Jimmy King in the Orange Crush. He crushed the Orange Crush.
Yes.
Or squeezed it. Just that. And let's take another gander at what happened. What's happening here?
The only thing I can see is it gets high in the corner of the boat and dips. See, hits a wave and hooks the sponson. I can't see if he destroyed a buoy, but he certainly stuffed the boat, as we'd say.
Well, it looked a lot worse when you saw it happening immediately.
Right.
Now, he had problems earlier in the race. Going around the corner, he bumped somebody early on in the race. I wonder if there'll be a disqualification there. We'll get a closer look at that, at the bumping, and you can judge for yourself whether or not he was at fault. Here we go. You be the judge, Russell.
See, in the corner, he's turning the corner, and the other guy is holding him tight, and they slide into one another, so that would be the discretion of the corner judge calling that. That would be a toss-up.
Well, we know what's going on with Jimmy King. Michael Whalen is down in the pit with an update on the Robert THEORET situation.
Robert, are you going to be okay to go back out there?
Oh, we're done. We're done. Motor's gone.
What exactly happened?
I think a piston gave way or a rod, either one. And that's it. We don't have time. See, they're going back in the water now. So there's no time to change. We got about 5, 6, 7 hours of work. So that's it for this week.
You must be awful disappointed.
Yes, quite a bit. Can't be much worse, huh? It came close. We got to come back, I guess.
We are all set for the restart of the Grand Prix final here at Valleyfield. Jimmy King, conspicuous by his absence. He is not in the race, and Michael Whalen is down on the pits with him to tell us why.
Jim, you've been disqualified. Did they give you a reason why?
They called me for the stoppage of the race. They said that I had stopped the race in the first corner, which was that I put up a lot of water, they couldn't see me, anticipated an accident, shot the flare, but I was still running. So it's right on the line what can be done. We're going to see what happens.
So, but you have been eliminated from this thing. Can you tell us what happened? It looked like you were wavering on the water there.
To win at Valleyfield is the ultimate. It's like going to Indian cart. And I was running a boat where I thought it was handling very well. Looked a little wild, but it would still go. And got a little away from me. What actually happened is the wing busted, the one canard wing, shot up, dipped the sponson, and that's what spun me around.
Okay. Do you feel hard done by?
Not hard done, just very disappointed. The crew and everybody worked very hard, and it'd be nice to finish it off.
Okay, well, listen, better luck next time.
Thank you very much.
All righty, thank you very much, Michael, and let's get to the race. This is the one we have all come here to see. 15 seconds till they hit the start. Who do you like?
This is anybody's race. Anybody's race. Although I see that the THUNDERCRAFT is on the inside, and that certainly should help him as far as controlling the race if he has the speed.
And we are off. Robert THEORET, driving number 444, the GP Valleyfield, subbing in for his teammate Jeffrey Richards, stepping aside for the veteran to let him race before the hometown fans. The question is, does the GP Valleyfield have the kick of THEORET's regular boat?
I doubt that very much, because cab openings are hard to beat, and he's running a convention, and he has 2 cabs in front of him.
And Pierre Lavigne is giving her the gas in that unusual-looking boat. He is really opening up a sizable lead.
Yes, he's surprisingly running real well, and following him closely is Jean THEORET with the Miss DANASH.
Keeping it in the family, Jean THEORET is
that's right.
Robert's nephew.
Right.
And let's check out the first lap time. Lavigne cuts across the tape, 47.4 seconds, average speed of 94.9 miles an hour, a little bit more slow than I would have expected.
But I am thinking certainly that Pierre Lavigne must be happy right now sat in that boat and saying, I've got to do 3 more laps and make sure I keep it on the water. And
he has never won a race on the GP circuit, is that right?
Not in Valleyfield, anyway. He may have won in Ville-Marie a year or 2 ago, but in Valleyfield he has never won the Grand Prix race, Grand Prix Valleyfield.
And he is from Maple Grove, Quebec, which isn't all that far from here.
About 20 miles down the road from Valleyfield.
All right, he has a pretty good lead. Lavigne through the second lap, and Miss DANASH, Jean THEORET, has moved up into second place, and number 17, the Niagara Challenger with Michael Andres, is in third place. Here comes Lavigne, and through the second lap, 136.5 seconds, 93.2 miles an hour.
Still holding it in there, Paul. I don't see who's going to go and pick him up right now because he has a good lead, and he's not losing anything.
Coming down the backstretch, nobody can get close to him. That very sleek boat just hugging the water, and the DANASH trying to move up. Jean THEORET a distant second, and an even more distant third is Michael Endries in the Niagara Challenger.
I can see the pit crew now of the Thundercraft on the dock yelling and screaming right now with that boat in first place. They don't see that often, but he is right now, and he's got another 2 laps to go.
And you can glance down, and they are all craning their necks wildly down in the pit, watching Lavigne as he whips around. And I tell you, he is looking pretty good at this point. The DANASH with Jean THEORET, number 929, is in second, not even getting close enough to challenge. And Michael Endries in the Niagara Challenger will try to come up and see if he can challenge for at least second spot. And look at that, Lavigne lapping the opponents.
Definitely going to be a lot of excitement in the Thundercraft camp tonight, I tell you. This is very, very surprising. Of course, we lost a lot of top-running boats, but Pierre has the boat running, and he's doing extremely well in this final.
The door left wide open for Pierre Lavigne in the Thundercraft. And he takes the checkered flag, his first ever victory at Valleyfield. Jean THEORET is second, and Michael Endries in the Niagara Challenger is third. But what a fantastic moment this must be for Pierre Lavigne, who wins at Valleyfield. The underdog comes through with the door left open. So a wild and woolly finish to the GP final, and it has Pierre Lavigne in first place. Michael Endries in the Niagara Challenger was penalized by a minute, so despite his second place finish, he drops right out of the top 5. Robert THEORET in his teammate's boat finishing in 4th. Here's Michael Whalen with our winner.
Well, I'm down here at the wharf with Pierre Lavigne, and Pierre, after 26 years, it's been a long time coming to win this regatta.
That comment you just made is a little bit drastic. I hope people will be able to believe that I started real young on that. This victory is, for us, it's like the end of the world. Winning in Valleyfield is just the same as a Formula 1 driver winning in Monte Carlo. It's just great. Everybody wants to win here. They always say, we can win Valleyfield and then retire, so this is it. Everybody's really glad on the crew, and the guys really worked hard to get this done. I don't know, I just jump up and shout, I guess, at this point. I'm so excited and so happy.
Yeah, the crew was standing by here next to me, and when they saw you in the lead, I never saw a bunch of guys more excited than that gang.
I guess these guys have been working real hard for me for a long time, and they deserve most of the credit for this. They really got me to where I am, and I can really expect that they were very excitable at that point.
Obviously, this investment in this new technology has paid off.
It has. We still have quite a few sort of bugs to get out of the boat. We're not using 100% yet. We had to take a few gambles yesterday, seeing the condition of the water today with the wind and all. We changed a few things on the boat. And the first final we had, where there was an accident and a restart, led me to find out that the boat was handling quite well, and it could do what it had to do. Not maybe at 100%, but enough to do it in this weather. So when I got back out for the second restart, I used one of the boat's distinct advantages. I can slow it really down on speed and accelerate from there. So that gave me the opportunity to get the inside lane, and that worked magic for me, because the boat will corner. I don't think any other boat can corner like that, and if I've got that lane, it'll be real hard to get around me.
So it was a big advantage in the end to have a restart.
It was. That was the break I needed, because we did not have a chance to test the boat in this kind of weather, wind, rough water. And we had to gamble on it at the first one, and it gave me the information I needed, and we risked it in the second.
Well, listen, 26 years later, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And what a spectacular finish. The underdog, Pierre Lavigne, comes through with the victory. A victory his crew did not expect in their wildest dreams. And their jubilation is reflected in the trophy and in the face of our winner, Pierre Lavigne. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.